We have a lot to get into today. Let's talk about it. A former Fox hairstylist, Nasheem Faraj, has filed a lawsuit against Fox Sports, Skip Bayless, Joy Taylor, and others, alleging sexual harassment, battery, and a toxic workplace environment. I want to be clear, this is the woman at the heart of this lawsuit because I think a lot of people are getting it confused with Joy Taylor as being the one that brought this forward. No, it is Nasheem Faraj. She is the plaintiff in this lawsuit. So Nasheem Faraj, who worked at Fox Sports from 2012 until August 2024, claims that Bayless made unwanted advances toward her. And in the lawsuit, it includes offering 1.5 million for sexual favors. The lawsuit also alleges that Charlie Dixon, Fox Sports executive, vice president of content, and this is him here. What this guy, that's an interesting face. Almost kind of like reminds me of a eat the dog kind of face, right? Just my unwarranted feedback. I mean, this is not a very attractive man, but anyways, he's named in her lawsuit as well. And then that brings me to Joy Taylor. Now, as you can see here, this is her Instagram, this Nasheem Faraj, and right here it says hair by Nasheem. Here is the actual Instagram. She has 3,600 roughly followers. And she's a hairstylist in LA, hair by Nasheem. But yeah, so she's done her hair. She knows this girl, right? Joy. And what is she claiming about Joy? Faraj further accuses Joy Taylor of dismissing her concerns and engaging in bullying behavior. So she basically probably told her to go sit down, have a couple seats. This is the male dominated world, and you need to chill the hell out. I'm alleging. I'm making up a fictitious what I think went down in my head, right? I mean, it's like if you're in this field, she's probably looking at you like, girl, please. This lawsuit was filed January 3rd, 2025. Boy, New Year's, right? Start off to a interesting start. It was filed in the Los Angeles Superior Court. It includes 14 counts against the defendants and seeks unspecified damages and a jury trial. Yes, a jury trial. So what is this lawsuit about? It's about a hostile work environment. And this goes to Fox Sports creating an environment that was hard for her to work in. So this is also a class action lawsuit as well. So unwelcome conduct, right? The plaintiff, Ms. Faraj, describes being subjected to unwelcomed sexual advances, groping, lingering hugs, kisses, comments about her body, and explicit requests for sex in exchange for money. The misconduct is alleged to have occurred so frequently over 7 years, significantly altering her work conditions and creating an abusive environment. They're saying that Fox Sports is held liable for these actions of supervisors under California law. The company is also accused of ignoring harassment by non-supervisory employees. Employees who directly engaged in harassment are held personally liable under California law. And the plaintiff seeks compensatory and punitive damages for financial loss, including earnings and benefits, emotional distress, including shame, embarrassment, and fear. The claims in this lawsuit also suggest systemic issues within the workplace with allegations of a culture that tolerated and ignored harassment. The behavior by Mr. Bayless, right, summer of 2017, Skip Bayless began giving lingering hugs after every haircut, pressing his body against hers and making contact with her breasts. Now, he escalated to kissing her on the cheeks, and Faraj expressed discomfort by making excuses to leave after haircuts. This is an example given in this claim, claiming she had to pick up her son, and that's how she got out of that situation. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out because, a lot of women after the Me Too movement, after all of these movements, that are showing that women have had to endure these type of things, people ask that question. The reason I say that, and I was trying to figure out how to word this, but you're like a gazelle trapped amongst a sea of lions. Women right now, and I'm asking women right now to speak out on this in male dominated spaces, how they feel going into work. Do they feel the eyes undressing them as they walk past? Do they feel that feeling of I'm like outnumbered here? I personally couldn't imagine working in a space like that. It just isn't a lawsuit about Fox Sports. It's about a systemic issue across industries. Realize that even in 2025, some men continue to abuse their power, making it incredibly difficult for women to advance or even feel safe in spaces where they should. The fact remains that male-dominated environments like sports media often enable these toxic dynamics. There's 42 pages in this document has so many different stories. I call them stories because they're just incident after incident that she lays out. I just hope she has ways to prove this. I don't know how that's going to work out in a legal sense. I was under the impression that if you like recorded somebody's voice, you have to let them know they're being recorded. I don't know if that stands anymore, but nowadays people are going to be doing a lot of things to protect themselves. I think in a lot of these workplace environments that like this, they should have cameras. They should have things like cameras near fitting rooms, like not necessarily in the fitting room, but maybe on the outside. When you file a lawsuit, you better come with the receipts because that's the only thing that's going to allow you to win. Let's talk about the text messages. April 14th through the 15th of 2022. On April 14th, Bayless texted Faraji, "If you are distracted tomorrow, I'll wait till Monday, but I can't keep doing this." Faraji was confused and asked what he meant. Then Bayless responded, "Trust me, I'm far more confused." On April 15th, 2022, Bayless texted, "Do you still want to do the haircut or just move on?" Faraji responded saying she didn't want to move on from her job and would continue doing his hair. Anyway, so obviously this seems like a threat, right? Like if you don't do what I want, you're going to lose your job. On a phone call, April 16th, 2022, it says that Bayless called Faraji, but she did not answer him immediately because she was scared. When she returned his call, he angrily accused her of effing sharp and claimed he could tell from her body language. So Faraji explained she was just kind to all talent, including Sharp, and engaged in friendly conversation. Bayless responded to her saying, "You shouldn't talk to me like that." And her reply was, "I could respond however I wanted." Bayless then falsely claimed to have overheard Faraji talking to Sharp about her you know what down there, right? Lady parts. Faraji, who knew this was untrue, was both embarrassed and angry. She replied, "Even if I had been dating Mr. Sharp, which I wasn't, it shouldn't matter at all because I only had a professional relationship with you." All of these are recordings, I might add. April 17th, 2022. This is April 16th, 17th, and on. Anticipating further conflict, Faraji set up a recording device in her makeup room and placed it on the table. Two of her co-workers who were aware of the situation were present and privy to Bayless's behavior. Really, like this is just, it's becoming like a drama, right? Bayless made repeated false accusations about Faraji's involvement with Sharp, causing her emotional distress. And Bayless pressured Faraji to meet him outside of work. And when she refused, his anger escalated. This is the part where she feels like she feels the retaliation coming if she doesn't comply. I can't imagine what this woman might have felt. And this is all allegations. I mean, all of this has to be proven, but how much intimidation would that be, right? To be told you gotta do what I ask. Another thing was after Faraji sent a notice of this lawsuit back in December, because the lawsuit came out January 3rd, December 2024. Diaz reportedly mocked the situation with HR about his interactions with Faraji. He allegedly told other employees about Faraji's just calling her stupid and making a mockery of the situation. And Miss Peretti was her supervisor, Gina Peretti, but also required that she do the job duties of a barber. So she was cutting hair and, doing women and men's hair. All of these people named in this lawsuit, when you think about all the details coming out, you have to imagine this could be a soap opera. How does HR factor into this? Because I'm sure you guys are probably like, she's had to have meetings with HR explaining what was going on. And she did. The claim here says that Faraji had multiple meetings with Human Resources explaining that Miss Peretti yelled at her, made fun of her, and bullied her. For example, Miss Peretti allegedly told Faraji, "I don't like you and could fire you anytime." This is the kind of environment this woman was working in. However, Faraji then felt that there was no need no resolution, as she would never going to get any conclusion from them, or any conclusion taken by Fox. So she continued to work um, on the Undisputed and the Herd in the summer of 2018. Now, around the summer of 2018, Mrs. Taylor, Joy Taylor, was moved from Undisputed to the Herd with Colin Cowherd. Both Miss Taylor, Joy Taylor, and Mr. Cowherd requested that Faraji do their hair. So Faraji would do Bayless's hair for Undisputed and then move on to do Joy Taylor and Cowherd's hair for the Herd every day. Faraji then noted that Cowherd was professional and respectful throughout her time at Fox, unlike others. Faraji learned of a sexual relationship occurring between Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon. That relationship led to Taylor's then fiance breaking off their engagement and threatening to go public with his knowledge. That's just here nor there, but that's in this lawsuit. On information and belief alone, Mr. Dixon allegedly paid for wedding deposits in exchange for Taylor's fiance's silence. What? Racial and sexual harassment by Bobby Diaz. Now, on May 10th, 2019, Bobby Diaz, who puts microphones on talent, the guy that mics you, mocked Miss Faraji for her pronunciation of English words and sexualized the way she was eating fruit. I feel like, since I work by myself, I'm going to criticize my own way I pronounce people's name. I'm sure I pronounced Faraji's name wrong in the beginning of this video, but I was like, oh, there's an I at the end. But Faraji claims that she did not respond, but kept her eyes glued on the monitor, playing Undisputed. Now, Miss Peretti was present during the incident, but did not do anything. Diaz had the history of groping, harassing, and being inappropriate with women at Fox. It's also claimed that Diaz has not been fired due to his alleged involvement in supplying, I can't believe I'm saying this, cocaine to Fox employees and talent, and his conduct, including an incident where he removed his pants on live camera. I feel like Cat Williams said it all, that this was going to be the year of exposure for real. This thing has so much details, right? Now there's a birthday party back in January 14th of 2017, a birthday party for Miss Taylor, right here at Pearl's Rooftop in West Hollywood, which was a part of the job for Fox employees. Mr. Dixon was drinking heavily and buying drinks for everyone using Fox's credit card. Now, while at the bar, Dixon, who looks like Droopy the dog, in my opinion, approached Faraji and placed his arm on her lower back and asked if she was having fun and if she wanted a tequila shot. Faraji felt uncomfortable by the unsolicited touch and responded, "No, thank you." Then Dixon moved his hand lower, rubbing her body and grabbing her butt. Now, Faraji was quickly mortified, but quickly thought to fake an incoming call to escape the situation. Now, the response from Miss Taylor and co-workers was that Faraji turned to Miss Taylor, who responded by telling her to get over it and explained that her own job at Fox was due to Dixon, that basically she was there because of Dixon, adding that Faraji only had her job because Taylor had requested her. Joy Taylor warned that Dixon could take both of their jobs away. So terrified, Faraji then confided in a co-worker and referred this coworker as anonymous in this lawsuit. The coworker expressed disgust at Dixon's behavior, calling the situation sick, but advised Faraji to remain silent if she wanted to keep her job, acknowledging that Fox's culture and the risk involved was, detrimental to her job, right? As a single mom dependent on the job to support her son, Faraji felt she had no other choice but to remain silent about the situation. Miss Peretti allegedly told Faraji that she didn't like her. She also added that she had already scheduled someone else for her hair on the show Undisputed. When Dixon, Droopy the dog, called and told her she had to put Faraji on the show full time. So that's just a breakdown of that situation. But there's a lot of key events that went around this stuff, right? Like I said, Diaz's attitude towards HR, right? Just disregarding anything they said, saying, and she quotes this in here, saying Mr. Diaz said, "Who gives a shit?" and boasted that he would never be fired at Fox. Then Miss Taylor's use of sexuality for career advancement. That's what's really deeply disturbing, I think, and why everybody's bringing Joy Taylor into this so much, is they're saying, did Joy Taylor sleep her way to the top? I mean, is that unimaginable to think in a world like this where it's hard to get a leg up in this industry. Just look at people that have been in this industry for a long time as women. They're subjected to this view as being the little woman that doesn't know anything. I mean, just watching this clip talking about her, all the masculinity is just pouring out in this. Like, oh wow, we're giving her a shot, but you guys don't know what she's had to go through to get there.
And I got to take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor, a woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you.
And this goes to the incident in Beverly Hills. There was a lunch in Beverly Hills where Miss Taylor, Joy Taylor, invited Faraji to come. And she, at this point, Faraji met Emmanuel Ancho. I always want to say Ancho. Miss Faraji was surprised because she said she thought they were romantically involved. Miss Taylor later confirmed that Mr. Ancho worked at Fox and explained that she wanted him to recommend her for the show Speak for Yourself. So Faraji, concerned about Mrs. Taylor's relationship with Acho, warned her about the dangers of simultaneously sleeping with both Mr. Dixon and Mr. Acho. And Taylor, Joy Taylor, dismissed the warning, saying she was now powerful and would expose Mr. Dixon once he was no longer of use to her. Wow. And then in September of 2022, Miss Joy Taylor began working on Speak, and again requested Miss Faraji to do her hair. I mean, this is like a long time these people have been working with each other, right? I mean, you would think they obviously know a lot of each other's secrets, right? Anyways, during a 2020 dinner at Maestro Steakhouse, Miss M, a Fox employee, screamed at Mrs. Faraji or Miss Faraji, calling her saying F you're Persian B, right? And the situation escalated, and Miss M, breaking a glass, threatened self-harm. Faraji's coworker, another anonymous, reported the incident to HR, and Miss M became increasingly hostile toward Faraji, throwing things and yelling at her every morning. What kind of environment is this? After a year and a half, Miss M was fired. Faraji learned that Miss M received a large severance package, which caused her to question why Fox rewarded her bully with money. So she was like, this lady was able to get a severance package. HR's inadequate response to this is what really it seems like this whole thing is about, right? HR not doing their job. And what's strange is that she has the letter that HR sent her. Faraji has a letter saying that they were not experienced in dealing with mental health issues, and offered her free therapy, which she declined, opting to see an independent therapist to address her experiences at Fox. So Faraji is continuing with therapy to this day. But when did the incident of the $1.5 million come into play? It was July 2021. After being advised that she might have cancer, Faraji shared her concerns with Mr. Bayless, hoping he would stop his advances. And instead, he responded by offering $1.5 million for sex. Faraji quickly excused herself, and a week later, Mr. Bayless made another advance, prompting Faraji to remind him that he had a wife. He responded, "Aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 or 4 wives?" When Faraji explained that her father was deceased, Bayless looked taken aback, and she made another excuse to leave. And how has Fox Sports responded to this? They said, "We take every allegation seriously and have no further comment at this time given this pending litigation." Now, obviously, that's the right track to take. If you are Fox News, it's best to keep your mouth shut on this until things, move forward. And I'm pretty certain, this is just my opinion, this sort of thing is going to be settled out of court. I don't think they're going to go to a jury trial. That's just my opinion. That being said, this is not a video about condemnation of all men, right? It's essential to clarify that not every man behaves this way, just as not every woman fits into harmful stereotypes that men make about them. If you enjoyed this content today, or you just like these type of conversations, be sure to hit the subscribe button. I do respond to as many comments as possible here and on TikTok. And remember, as always, think for yourself and have a great day.